Good morning, good morning. Good morning to Calatina's Live. We are cooking with Calatina today, and I woke up late, and so I'm trying to get through this recipe. But we're going to be doing chicken legs in red wine sauce. And then when we take the chicken out and it's done, then I'm going to put in that sauce, if I have to add a little extra water. But in that red sauce, I'm going to put the rest of my orzo that I opened up last time. And then it's gonna be called Youvetsi. Youvetsi could be done with meat or it could be done with chicken, okay? So I'm doing it with chicken today. Now, Youvetsi always needs a lot of onions. So I've got two regular size onions and a small one just to get rid of them. So that's what I'm using. And then I'm going to put a couple cloves of garlic. But usually Youvetsi wants to have that onion, that caramelized onion flavor in it, okay? All right, hang on one second. Make sure I got my volume up. Okay, good. Hope everybody's doing well. Yesterday I had a glitch. I had two videos when I did my chili. But somehow when I posted them, I don't know if I touched something and it locked them, and so you guys can't see them. So I don't know. I tried to figure out how to unlock it. I don't know. So I'm not sure if this video is going to show well, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay? If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. All right. Remember earlier I was telling you guys on a different episode that I freeze my tomatoes and then I stick them under water and then the peel comes off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick that under water. And then all I do is just rub and then the peel comes off, okay? So it's that easy. And then I just take the majority of the peel off, obviously. Some of it might stay, but the majority of it comes off. Okay, and that is it. I usually let those tomatoes sit for a little bit to get them a little softer so they're easier to cut. Okay, so I'm going to cut my onions up real quick. And that's how I'm going to start the dish. So hopefully by then, they'll be kind of ready for me to cut, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut my onions. Let me put this down just a little bit so you can see. Now, Youvetsi, I do want the onions to not show as much, you know what I mean? So I am going to cut them somewhat fine because I want to make sure that they incorporate everything in it, okay? So I'm going to cut them up about that big, all right? And like I said, I have 3 onions. My mom used to put, 3, 4 onions. It's, whatever your recipe is, I guess. But this is Greek, and a lot of Greeks do it a different way. But this is how we've done it. And so that's what I'm showing you. I'm not really teaching you how to be a cook because everyone has their own talents. I'm just showing you how I'm doing it my way, and if you see something that you like, then you can try it yourself. You know what I mean? These onions are extremely hot this morning. Oh my goodness, I'm tearing up. Gotta open up my mouth and blow. And that's what I do, and I blow that hot out of the front of me. I'm blowing it towards you so you guys can cry. That's what I'm doing. How's that? All right, so while the onions are getting translucent, I'm going to put this batch of onion in there. So what I'm going to do is, whoo, I'm tearing up. I'm going to take my olive oil. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Before I put my onions in there, well, let me finish my onions because it's kind of a process. I have to do something with the chicken, so we'll finish that real quick. A lot of onions to cut, but you can prep that and get it ready for the night before, you know what I mean? Usually I do a lot of that stuff the night before, so I don't have to do too much in the morning, but I'm doing this cooking video, so I want to show you guys exactly what I do. All right, so before I do that, before I stick the onion in there, I've got my chicken. Now I bought a big container of it. Give me 1 second, there you go. I bought a big container of it and then I split them. Like for my family, I know that 2 chicken legs, my husband's gonna want 2 chicken legs, my son's gonna want 2 chicken legs, I'm going to want 1, but 1 would be extra just in case one of the guys wants another one, okay? Let me rinse them real quick. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and take them out. I'm not going to take the skin off at all. All right. So that's, you know, they're good size chicken. But what I am going to do is, because I'm going to stick them in a hot fire in the hot oil, I am going to pat them down because I rinsed them. So I'm going to pat them down to get some of that extra stuff off. Flip them over. Just like that, okay? All right, now once that's done, I'm gonna put salt and pepper on them. I'm gonna salt them quite a bit because, you know, obviously it's making a sauce and the noodles are gonna go in there afterwards, the orzo, so it's gonna get all absorbed, okay? All right, so that's that. I'm not gonna put the pepper. I want them to cook first with that, okay? Turn on my fire real quick. All right, there I am. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my last onion while these sit for a second. I just got another half onion. When you put salt on chicken and then you put it in hot oil, well, there goes my onion, and put it in hot oil, the chicken doesn't stick to the pot. That's the purpose of putting salt on it. So you put plenty of salt on it so that the chicken pieces, when they start to cook, they're not going to get stuck to the bottom of the pan. And that's just a little trick that my mom used to do. Now, I'm sure many others do that. I'm just telling you guys because I know a lot of you guys are, you know, live in America, and so sometimes you don't know that. Then you can see, wow, that's a lot of onions. Yes, because they're going to caramelize. And those onions is what you're going to be eating in the orzo when it cooks in that sauce. So, yeah. By the way, I took the chili with me yesterday to work, and there was a gentleman, a customer of mine there, and he goes, well, what do you got? And I said, oh, I made homemade chili, and he said, you want to try some? He goes, yeah, I'll try some. So I gave him 1 spoonful, and he goes, wow, that's one of the best chilies I've ever had. And I said, well, let me put some food for the guys, and whatever's left I can serve you. So I gave him another bowl of that. I gave him a bowl this time, and he was just sitting there going, man, this is delicious. So, and the gentleman was Puerto Rican, and he just loved it, you know what I mean? So he's like, wow, Tina, you did a really nice job. I said, well, good. You need to make a comment on my thing. All right, that's pretty hot, so I'm going to turn the fire down a little bit, and then I'm going to put the chicken in. What I want to do is I want to roast the chicken real quick, make it a little brown a little bit. We're just kind of browning the outside edges of it, and then we'll continue with the rest of the stuff. Yep, that sucker is hot. And how do you lower the temperature? You just put a little bit more oil in there to cool it off. There's always some way you can do that with. So yesterday I had the chili too hot, right? What did I do? I squirted in some ranch. I put in there some tomato paste. Now this what I'm doing is called tigarizo. We don't do it often because I guess it's not as healthy, you know what I mean? But I don't do it very long. I just do it enough to get the outside skin just a little bit colored. That's all I do it for, and then after that I throw in everything else, you mean? So while that's doing that real quick, I'm gonna flip them in a bit. So I'm gonna put some my frozen tomatoes, which are fresh tomatoes that I've frozen. So they're able to be cut up now. This whole thing is frozen. I'm going to chop it up just like the onion. Hang on, I'll show you. I just love that sizzle. That sound is just making everything just smell so good because you're burning that little fat, you mean? All right, I'm going to turn them around. I'm going to flip them. This is what I'm trying to get you to see. See how it's brown? See how it's raw? And see how it's brown? That's exactly what I need. I'm going to flip them around a few times to get them to be a little bit brown throughout, you know what I mean? my little flicker here decided to disengage. So the tomato is going to, it's all frozen, you know what I mean? So when it thaws out in the sauce, it's going to be perfect. If your tomato comes out of the freezer, you're not going to be able to cut it like this because it's not softened on the inside, okay? You needed to let it sit outside the freezer for about 5 minutes, right? And then it's workable. I'm going to flip them again to another raw area. So what this does is it gives the meat flavor. When you're biting into the chicken legs, you've got that flavor. I'm building flavor is what I'm doing right now. And because I put that salt, I put enough salt on there. Because I put enough salt on there, it's not sticking to my pan, all right? If you just put them in there like that in oil, then it's gonna stick to the bottom of your pan. So now I'm picking them up, and it's not sticking to the pan. And you see how I'm browning it? It's almost done, and then I'll stick the onions and everything else in there. I'm gonna go ahead and clean a couple of garlic cloves and get that minced and ready. Hope everybody's doing well. I want you guys to do comments. I love it when I read comments. I'm so bummed out that my video did not post, and I don't know if I saved it on my actual phone, so I guess if I find it, I don't know how to try. I don't know how to post on here yet. So I do my recording right on. I push record and then that uploads it. But I don't know how to upload it from my camera roll. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. And what that does is it seals the flavor, you know what I mean? It seals the flavor in the chicken, you know? And that's kind of what we want. And then when we put everything in there, we enhance the flavors, you know what I mean? I hope you guys are enjoying my my recipes. We've enjoyed them for so many years. Okay, I just chopped it up fine. Okay, so that's pretty much done. That's all I want to do is do a general color. Yep. Do a general color on them. And that's all I wanted to do. So that's sealed in the flavor. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the onions. Remember, in cooking, we're always building flavors, right? I mean, even with our spices. When we add spices, every spice we add, we are building a flavor level, you know what I mean? It's always enhancing. It enhances the one you put in there before, and then it gives it a little kick with the new one that you put in there. So I'm going to put all the onions and the garlic in there. Oops, sorry. Now there's plenty of oil in there. I don't need to add more oil for the onions to get translucent and cook with the chicken. Now the oil has the flavor of the chicken in there now, right? Because we seared it. So now the onions are going to pick up the flavor of the chicken. And the chicken is going to pick up the flavor of the onion. So we're building an amazing flavor. At this point, I can go ahead and put black pepper. Because we're not hurting anything. I don't put it in the beginning because I don't want the pepper to burn. You mean? And then it smells like a burnt pepper. So I only put the salt to keep it from sticking to my pan. When I get the onions in a translucent situation, which they're coming along pretty good, but they need a little bit more cooking time. Then I'm going to put in the tomatoes that I just chopped up. I might have to put in some tomato paste, or maybe even additional tomatoes, but I don't think so. Probably I'm going to need more of the tomato paste situation. Remember, when I build the sauces, the tomato sauces, you want to build them that it looks good to the eye. If it doesn't look good to the eye, then it's not a good color. So, you know, when I start out, I put so much in there, and then I do not see the color building to a rich color. So that's when you add more, okay? And that's the point where you don't want to overdo and put too much. You want to put a little bit in, see how that works, let that cook in a little bit. If you see a difference, but you don't see it to where you want it to be, then you add a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to show you what it looks like so far. So I've got my onions, and the chicken is brown, and then the onions have turned yellow, right? From white to yellow. And that's kind of what we want. This is like way too, I don't know what's going on with my lighting. Woo, too light. So now I can go ahead. I smell the chicken. I smell the onion. I'm going to go ahead and put a little thyme. The thyme, not the rosemary. I don't know why it's so bright now all of a sudden. If you want to know how much, this is how much I grabbed. So it's probably like a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. I'm not going to put any garlic powder until I taste the sauce. Because this meal is more oniony than garlicky, even though I put like 2 cloves of garlic in there, but I also put almost 4 onions in there. So, you know, it's going to be more oniony. Now the onions are getting a little brown, so that's good. It's releasing more flavors. Yeah, now I smell the thyme. That's good. That's releasing its flavors too. That smells really good. Wow. Okay. 2 more seconds. I think I'm gonna put a little bit more pepper. Remember, I always coat the tops of all the food until I think I'm satisfied. And then when the things roll around and roll over, then I'm like, okay, yeah, it does need a little bit more. Now on the salt, I'm not gonna add any right now. I want to see how my sauce is, because I'm going to add all these tomatoes, tomato paste, and I'm going to see how it is, and then I'll add, okay? Okay, so that's pretty much ready. It is ready for my tomatoes. Why did I put tomatoes, fresh tomatoes today? Because I have them. You could put regular fresh tomatoes. I mean, I have fresh tomatoes that have been frozen. So I guess you could call them frozen tomatoes, but they're fresh from my garden. So the taste of my tomatoes are going to be tasting more flavorful because I grow them. Wait, let me correct that. Nikita grows them. So I'm going to let the tomato now thaw out. Excuse me. I'm going to let my tomatoes in there in between everything. In between. I don't know why I'm so bright. Because I shine. So there you go. I've got my tomatoes in there. So now, is that better? My phone's acting kind of weird. So I'm going to let that cook, but I'm going to go ahead and put in my tomato paste. Get that cooked in there too. No, I probably don't have enough. Have another one? I'm going to stick a tomato sauce in there, a small tomato sauce in there. And then, of course, I don't have enough, so I'm going to open up another one of those. You yourselves can be traditional cooks in your family without, you know, being professional, but still put out a really respectable plate with amazing flavors and where everybody's just going to lick their fingers when they eat it. You know what I mean? Now my tomatoes that I have frozen, right now they're blonde in color, but as it cooks, they're going to get more deeper in color, so I don't want to overdo it. I'm going to put the sauce in first, because that just might be enough, right? You never know. Put a little bit of water in there. Move that around. I might not need to put any tomato paste, but we'll see. More than likely I will, but. And I'm not going to taste it because obviously I have raw chicken. So that's all we need is salmonella. So I'm going to leave that to cook. I'm going to put more water in it though, so that it covers, the, at least 3/4 of the chicken. And I'll show you. I think I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. It is not that much at all. That's pretty much all it is. It's not that much at all. Put a little water in that. No need to waste. All right. Now we let that cook. Every time I'm looking for that top to this one, I never find it. It's like very rare that I find it. Oh, that's too small. Hey, I found it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So now they're just kind of swimming in there. I'll show you. Okay. I know it's a lot of sauce, but that's okay because remember, we want sauce to be left over so that we can put the orzo stuff in there, and that needs fluid to be able to cook. So that's important. At this point right now, I'm going to put a little bit of sherry. A little bit of sherry. You could put white wine. I wouldn't put, I wouldn't put red because you're going to deepen the flavor too much and it's not going to be, you put red with meat, you know what I mean? I usually put white with other things, with noodles, spaghetti, fish, you know what I mean? But I like to put cherry because it's got that little sweetness to it. And that's what I'm going to put in there. I've got a little measuring cup, so I'm going to use that. I want to get the chicken drunk, you know what I mean? So let's see what it says. So it is about like 8 tablespoons, okay? I might not need it all, I don't know. But I'm going to see. Oh yeah, I'm going to need it all. That's good. That's a good amount. 8 tablespoons, okay? That's a good amount. Is there another measurement on here? Or yeah, 8 tablespoons or 4 ounces, all right? And cherry tends to give it that little bit deeper flavor than the white wine, but not too much as the red wine. So we put thyme. We keep it simple. We have, we fried the chicken. We added our onions. We added our fresh tomatoes. We added a can of tomato sauce, a small one. We added about a tablespoon of the tomato paste. Okay, it's just a very light traditional sauce. Okay, and we just want it to marinate with all that onion in there and just sweeten that up. The only thing I put in there is salt and pepper. I'll probably need to put a little bit more. Oh yeah, I can smell the wine. It's not ready. Yeah, it's very good. I might put a little bit more thyme in there. And if you want, which I probably will do, but I don't have to, you can put a couple of chicken bouillons in there, but that's going to change the salt content of your food, okay? So I'm going to wait, but I might put 1 or 2 bouillons in there. Where did they go? Well, maybe not. I had them here. I'm not the only one that cooks in the family. My son cooks all the time. So then he moves stuff around and I don't know where it's at, and I find it in different weird places that they shouldn't be. I have not used Mrs. Dash in there because I don't know if I want the oregano since I already put the thyme in there. Let's see what else it's got in there. It's got onion, black pepper. Yeah, see, I don't want parsley in there. I don't want celery in there. It does have thyme in there. It does have garlic. It's got orange peel, which is not something I want to use. So a lot of the things in here I don't plan to use in this dish because it'll change the flavor of it. And we're doing Youvetsi, so you know we don't want to change up the flavor and make it something else. And then again, you know, I will always change my mind once I taste it. I'm not going to taste it now. I'm going to taste it when it's cooked. Okay? So that's all I wanted to show you for now. All right? If I'm missing anything and I want to come back and do a little quick live to kind of finish up the dish, I will. Otherwise, try the recipe, see if you like it yourself, and put a twist on it like I always do. And then once this is cooked, I'm going to take the chicken out. I'm going to leave the rest of it in there. And then if it needs water, I'm going to add a little water in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle the orzo. This is just like a little over a half, so that's perfect for us. And then I'm going to sprinkle it in there, and then you got to watch it. You know, you got to sit there and stir it, you mean, and so it doesn't settle to the bottom. And then once your noodle is cooked, then you put the noodle in the dish, and then the chicken that you took out, you put the chicken on top, and it's just amazing. Okay, I want you guys to try that recipe. It's really good, really easy. I mean, you saw. It's very simple, and I will see you next time. I'll probably come back on towards the end because this has got to cook for about 45 minutes. It's chicken, you know what I mean? So once your chicken is tender, then your chicken is ready. Your sauce is ready now, you know, like in the next 15 minutes your sauce will be ready, but your chicken is not. So make sure your chicken is ready and it's fork tender, and then you can take it out and throw in the orzo noodles, or you can throw in spaghetti, or you can throw in rice if you want, or you can throw in whatever you want, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this because I want to use it up. So, and that is the proper thing to use for that. Okay? All right. See you till next time. Enjoy cooking, and you just cooked with Calatina. See ya.